Time to get your fear under control and stop letting it control you. Welcome to quarantine. Fear is one of those things that can spin out on you so fast. Just a little bit takes a hold of your heart, and next thing you know, it's just dragging you down, exhausting you. Listen, you just start searching symptoms of COVID-19, and look how easily it is to spin into fear. You start becoming suspicious of every cough and sneeze and allergy you're experiencing. Fear is just one of those things that easily spins out of control on us. We indulge it a little bit and it takes more. It takes more and more and more until you're sunk in anxiety. That's how fear works. Listen, fear in itself isn't a bad thing. It's a natural response to help us find protection, help us know when we need to fight or when we need to flight away from some difficult circumstances. But it's not supposed to control you. Fear is just something that's supposed to inform you to make a good decision, and then you leave it behind. Fear. It so easily spins out on us and takes control of our lives and fills our hearts and heads with anxiety. But it doesn't have to control you. There's this passage in the Psalms, it says this. It says, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." See, a lot of times we think of that passage when it comes to actual death. The valley of the shadow of death. That's why we use that and read it at funerals. It's probably where you heard it last, at a funeral. But that passage, it actually is talking about the times in life that feel like death. Not just the times where we actually have to deal with death. There's lots of circumstances right now that feel like death. Anxiety and the fear that drives it can bring you to a place where your life feels like death. This psalmist says, even when I walk through the times of my life that feel the worst and feel like death is just waiting for me or around the next corner, he sets his will. He made a decision to not fear. To not let fear control him. To not let fear of the enemy he saw control him. He made a decision to not let fear spin him out and sink him. And he made that decision because of who he knew God to be. I mean, that's what freed him to let go of his fear. He could choose not to fear because he knew that God was with him. That his rod and his staff would comfort him, that God's protection of him still existed, that God would pull him close to him, keep him on the right path, that God would keep him from making a misstep or a mistake, that God would hold him close and protect him even in the valley of the shadow of death. It gave him great comfort, but it also gave him the freedom to not let fear control his life. And maybe fear's been taking too much of a grip of your heart. Maybe it's been amping up your anxiety as we deal with the pandemic and all of the consequences and how they have changed our lives in the midst of this. You can choose to not let fear control you today. And you can choose that if you know that God is with you, that he is for you, that he will comfort you, that he will hold you close, no matter what life throws at you. Listen, I hope this video was encouragement to you. We are for you, and God is for you too. And we're just trying to show that any way we can. We're trying to flood the system with encouragement. You can help us do that by sharing these videos if they're meaningful to you. I can't wait till I can see you next time in person. Until then, I'll catch you online as we pump out all kinds of really great content during the week and Sunday mornings at Grace Free Church. See you soon.